Okay, it's not running away. Welcome back. You're with us here on Midcap Radar. We were up almost 70 points. We're up 55 now. So there is a bit of give back which is happening. Let's look at the stock price of Max Financial. It's been a very volatile day. Big surge at open, then it cooled off, and then it saw a second surge. I think it's not holding on to the full gains, but round about there. Jigar Mistry runs Buoyant Capital, PMS, and he owns Max Financial in his portfolio. He's liked it for a long time. Of course, he tracks it very closely as well. Jigar, thanks very much. We've spoken about Max earlier in the past as well. What did you make of the deal?
Hello, Prashant. Thank you for inviting me again. I think as we had discussed in the past, it's the deal in the right direction for both Max Financial as well as Axis Bank, right? Because for Max Financial, if there is no banca beyond FY21, then essentially the business becomes not as sustainable as it is right now, right? The cost, the returns on embedded value, all are top notch because they have a very low cost channel which they can sell almost 55% of the product through. For Axis Bank, it's a step in the right direction because, if the numbers were to be, not to be believed, I think the pressure is out. It's no longer just a ET article, but they will end up owning something like 30%, which will be almost 5% of Axis Bank's market cap today. So essentially, it would be a meaningful position for Axis Bank as well. And for Max Life, it was, a binary event, whether that happens, doesn't happen. So all that gets put to rest quite well now.
What about the 30% that they end up owning now, Jigar? Because earlier what was being talked about was 20%. This is 30%. You've been saying that Max is the cheapest insurance company. But now with this deal happening at the way it has, it kind of has stamped a particular valuation for the business. Would you look at it like that, or do you think, over time, this can re-rate to levels where others trade?
Right. So see, actually, 30 is not as good as 20 because this deal. Now they have given a very detailed explanation in the presser as to how the valuations will happen, and if you go through that, essentially go through that 11 UA of the Income Tax Act, it looks like it's a book value deal, right? So if it was, which is close to some 3,500 crores. So if you're offering 20% at book value, that is much better than offering 30% at book value. But frankly, Prashant, the thing that the deal is getting done, it means far more to the stock than 20 or 30%, right? So even if you look at, say, HDFC Life valuation, which is something like 4.7 times embedded value historical. Now this number for, Max is something like 1.8 or 1.9 times. So even if this gets re-rated to 3.5 times, which I think is similar to where SBI Life trades or Pru Life again is majority ULIP. But let's say if you compare it even with SBI, then the stock has still a good, 40-50% on the upside left. So I think you are right that 30% is not as great as 20%. But I think today what is more important is that the deal is getting done more than it's not getting done.
Will it get the required regulatory approvals, or what challenges could that process face?
Yeah, that's an important point, Prashant, because RBI historically, it appears as if they don't want banks to invest in non-banks, right? So that's how I think HDFC and this deal got thwarted in the past. If they can show that, they're capping it at 30%, it's a small part of their own entire NAV, then it, remains to be seen. But my guess is that RBI might not be that wary of allowing Axis Bank to do it. From the IRDA side, I think the things are relatively clear. The only thing that they need is, foreign shareholding is kept less than 49%, and insurance and non-insurance companies don't merge. So essentially, I think IRDA should be a relatively straightforward thing. RBI could be a little tricky, but I guess this deal has been in the making for quite a while. So they might have sounded it off and got some level of soft commitment as to whether this can be done or not.
In the insurance space, Jigar, that still remains, Max still remains the best buy according to you?
Yeah, so life insurance space is very interesting because, even in the COVID scenario, you've seen some amount of the latest March numbers came in that were not very encouraging. But I think as the dust settles down, I think there'll be an increased focus towards one's own mortality. And therefore, insurance, medical, all those segments will play an important role. The other aspect was that you saw the taxation angle not being as big an issue. Company after company came on your channel and suggest that within their own framework, it's the seventh or the eighth tool in the decision to buy insurance. So I think as we get more sort of prone into buying insurance, this space remains very attractive. In the life insurance space, as we had discussed, we have historically owned HDFC Life, but at this valuation, I think Max Life is far more interesting than HDFC Life.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there, Jigar. Thanks very much, as always, for that perspective. And of course, I mean, just a disclaimer, Jigar runs a fund. He already owns Max Financial, so that is the disclosure, I think, which we should put out for our viewers as well. Okay, I think the market is